There are thousands of meditation techniques in the world. Techniques for focus, relaxation, mindfulness, and emotional well-being. But there is a category of meditation that has a completely different purpose. Its goal isn't for just having peace of mind, but it's for completely collapsing the identity and sense of self. This technique that I'm about to describe to you does exactly that. It collapses the identity, sense of self, and is very helpful for our work that we do here, which is for the goal of awakening, being enlightened, sure to know self. So I've taken this type of meditation that I do. It's called the do nothing method, but I've put in my own little twist on it to make it even more powerful. If you haven't watched my videos on enlightenment, awakening, truth to know self, I got plenty of those on my page. Go check them out first, because that's kind of the goal of this meditation here. I'm not going to go into all that stuff right now, just strictly the meditation. So the do nothing meditation is you sit there, you do absolutely nothing, and that's it. You sit there with your eyes open, back straight upright so you don't fall asleep. And the goal is to do absolutely nothing, allow anything to happen in your mind. It's a little different than other meditation techniques, because a lot of meditation techniques, for example, you'll have like focus on the breath, or do a mantra in your head, something like that, or stare at a candle, something like that. But all of those require focus. And I think that the ones that require focus are very limiting, because by requiring focus, you're always kind of concentrated on something, and it doesn't allow you to go completely into no mind. With the do nothing meditation, or the meditation that I'm about to describe to you, which is the allow everything meditation, that's what we're going to talk about here. It allows you to go so much deeper, because it doesn't cap at the focus of the candle. It doesn't cap on the focus of the breath. It's not limiting, meaning that it allows you to go deeper and deeper and deeper every single time, an infinite amount. So it never stops at any certain level of focus. You're always allowed to go infinitely deep, which is why I love this method so much. The whole point of the do nothing meditation is the fact where we can compare, if you ever heard of the term the monkey mind, we can compare the mind to a monkey in a cage. So imagine with all those techniques that I said, like the focusing on the breath, or the focusing on a candlelight, or focus of a mantra or something like that. Essentially kind of what that's like is it's like having a monkey, and it's like keeping it in a cage. So you compare the monkey to the monkey mind. It wants to go crazy, think about everything, crazy thoughts, go everywhere. Besides going to sleep and shutting down, this monkey mind, we can trap it in a cage, but a lot of the times, yes, we can get it to physically stop moving around as much. But what the monkey's going to want to do is it's going to grab the bars, it's going to shake this cage, it's always going to want to constantly get out. So those bad types of meditation, they're very forceful. They're keeping that monkey in that cage, saying, you can't move, we have to focus on this one thing. And yes, if you have a monkey in the cage, it's not going to run around and wreak havoc on the neighborhood or anything like that. So essentially it's going to be quiet in almost like this like limited form, but it's still going to be screaming, freaking out, and wanting to get out of this cage, wanting to rid itself from being in the cage. So it's like helpful in that way, where it keeps the monkey from wreaking havoc on the city, but in reality that's not nearly as deep and quiet as we can get this monkey to be. So how do we actually wear this monkey out in a way where it wants to relax, not us forcing it? That's the key here, because if we can figure out how to do that, then we can figure out how to go deeper than any cage could bring this monkey into quietness and stillness. The way to handle this predicament that we have is to do the complete opposite as to keeping it in a cage. What we're going to do is we're going to open the cage and let the monkey run completely wild. So I've seen this explained before, where it's like letting this monkey just completely wreak havoc on the entire city, like break things, chuck rocks through windows, throw grenades on everyone, freak out completely, run around, and just let it destroy every single thing in its path. That's essentially what we're trying to do, because eventually what happens is this monkey, when it's finally done doing that for a certain amount of minutes or hours or something like that over like consecutive days and whatnot, eventually when the monkey is fully cessed in its need to be a degenerate, it just curls up on a log on its own and falls asleep. And that is what this whole point of this meditation does. Don't you think that's a lot more powerful of a way to meditate? Not keep it trapped in a box where it's forced to be quiet, but let it literally want to go to sleep on its own. That's the whole essential point of this entire meditation. And we call that the do nothing meditation. However, there is definitely some limitations that I have discovered with this meditation, because the monkey mind is extremely, extremely clever in not wanting to quiet down. And there are little flaws in the do nothing meditation, like little hooks that the monkey mind can cling onto and prevent itself from being able to calm down almost. Those hooks that I'm going to talk about, these are like the mother of all monkey mind thoughts, which this do nothing meditation unfortunately has. It's not these thoughts where it's like, oh, I wonder what I'm going to have for dinner, or I wonder like what I'm doing tomorrow, or wondering what's happening the next day, or why is the sky blue? But it's like these very tricky, specific thoughts that can keep you caught for years if you do not know how to work your way out of them. Where I would get caught up in the most with a do nothing meditation is the mother of all thoughts that I would have that would prevent me from going deep into this meditation is this. I would think, I need to do nothing. That was the mother of all thoughts. And it would essentially be like that monkey mind, like coming in through the back door, because that would be the trying, the focus that we don't want to do, that focus happening coming through the back door. Because then I would always have the stress in my mind of like, I need to do nothing. I can't stop any of my thoughts. I need to allow every single one of these thoughts to happen. That's what the do nothing meditation is, right? So if I am purposely stopping my thoughts, that's bad and I can't do that. And then when I would notice myself like purposely holding on to like try to stop myself from stopping the thoughts, see, we're going very meta here, I would get pissed because I would realize that that is doing something. It was a doing nothing meditation, but me trying to stop myself from stopping the thoughts. See how it's very tricky, very meta. That would be in fact doing something, preventing me from going deep into this meditation. So the whole, I need to not do anything, I need to stop doing everything, I need to stop preventing thoughts, I need to let the thoughts come and go and stuff like that, all that. It was essentially me preventing the meditation from fully happening on its own. So I came up with a meditation a little bit deeper than the do nothing, a meditation to ensure that I had all of those thoughts, even those big mother of all preventing thoughts from going down and disrupting my meditation, which was the allow everything meditation. The allow everything meditation pretty much says, if I sit there upright, and we sit upright because we don't want to focus on the thoughts of, oh, I'm not allowed to fall asleep right now, I have to make sure I stay awake. If you sit upright, then you don't have to worry about those thoughts saying like, I'm worried I'm going to fall asleep. No, sitting up prevents you from falling asleep, and it's one less thought you have to deal with. So if you sit up, if you keep your eyes open or closed, it actually does not matter. We don't want to limit ourselves anyway. If we sit there and we say, we allow everything, I allow everything, then that's going to be a lot more open than I have to do nothing per se. But you still have those big mother of all preventing thoughts from like coming up. So where it can be very tricky is if you're sitting there, and this is the most important part of the video right now, is you're sitting there and you're allowing every single thought to happen, every single scenario to play out. You have to allow yourself to not be comfortable. You have to allow yourself to have uncomfortable sensations in the body. You have to allow yourself to not even need to meditate anytime soon. You have to allow yourself to be confused as to how you can let the thoughts run around and how this is doing anything to help you further your meditation. You have to allow every single one of those things. But that big thought that might get in your way is saying, I have to allow every single thought to happen, every single feeling, every single thought that happen. I have to allow it, because the whole problem is that once that thought comes in the back door, it immediately overtakes you, and now you're worried about having to allow every single thought. For example, Your thoughts, when we talk about enlightenment, the truth of no self and everything like that, you're not the one doing the thoughts at all. So these thoughts are completely separate from you. So you actually have no control over the thoughts. But a big problem to preventing that's preventing you from meditating is you think you have control over the thoughts. So you think that you are responsible for being the reason that you can't meditate or that you can't control the thoughts. And that's going to like cause a lot more stress and not be helpful for meditation. So when you think to yourself, I have to allow every single thought, do you realize that if you're meditating and you aren't allowing every single thought, then you have to let that happen too. You have to allow yourself to not allow yourself to experience every thought and let every single thought happen. Because, for example, if you're not the one who's doing all the thoughts, you'll be sitting there. The thoughts will not be allowing themselves to allow every thought. The thoughts will be limiting themselves. The thoughts will be saying things like, I'm not going to allow every thought, and those thoughts will prevent themselves from allowing every thought. That's not you preventing the thoughts from allowing every thought. That's the thoughts preventing the thoughts from allowing every thought. So if you're sitting there and you're pissed off at yourself while you're meditating because you're following the meditation and you're saying, I have to allow myself to allow every thought, but it's not working, and you see yourself or your thoughts not allowing you to experience every thought or feeling or emotion, you have to let that happen too. You have to allow yourself to allow all of the thoughts and feelings, but you also have to allow yourself to not allow every single thought and feeling from happening. You see, as we go back and we see what the mind is doing, we call this going meta. We take a step back. We say, I'm allowing every single thought to happen, which is good, but then we're not allowing every single thought to happen. We take a step back again and we say, oh, wait, never mind, to go deeper, I have to allow myself to not allow every single thought to happen, because that is true unconditional allowance. And that's what we're going for here to do the deepest type of meditation we can. Unconditional allowing means allowing yourself to not allow. So I know I just said a lot of stuff and it doesn't make that much sense because I said allow, not allow. But if you need to, watch this video again, because I assure you it's very, very, very important. The truth is, you have to allow yourself to not allow yourself. You also have to allow yourself to allow yourself. You have to allow yourself to not control the thoughts, and you have to allow yourself to control the thoughts. If those unhelpful thoughts do creep in the back door, what do you have to do? You allow them to creep in the back door. The reason I want to do the deepest, and I want to teach you guys the deepest forms of meditation, is because I've explained this in a lot of videos before, is that the sense of self, the illusory sense of self, is created by three strings. There's thoughts in the head, there's images in the head, and there's feelings in the body. And what silencing your mind, like all these enlightenment techniques I've taught you before, right? The whole point is to take those three strings, creating this knot, the false sense of self, and untangling them slowly. So there's like self-inquiry and meditation, which is the process of untangling these strings slowly to see that there was no knot in the first place. It was just a jumble of three strings. Like there's no such thing as a knot, really, in reality. It's just three strings made together that are tangled together. The point of meditation for this video that I'm explaining to you for a method of reaching enlightenment is when you meditate, you're allowing those strings. It's almost like meditation is like a lubrication for those three strings, creating the sense of self, for them to untie themselves on their own. Like for self-inquiry, that is almost like the process of like picking at this knot, like by yourself, like consciously and manually doing it, like questioning every belief system that you have for the sense of self. Like that's like you purposely picking at it. I would compare meditation as to like almost like lubing up the knot. So you're not like consciously physically going in there yourself and picking it apart, but it's almost like adding lube to the knot to like pull it apart. And that's why if you layer these techniques for enlightenment like together, where it's like you're doing self-inquiry and meditation at the same time, not only are you picking this knot apart with the self-inquiry with your fingers, but by meditation, it's also like adding the lube to the physical strings. So it makes like picking apart the knot easier, if that makes any sense. So it's like the more techniques that you lay on top of each other, the quicker that this actual experience can happen for you, which is great because then you can break through this matrix kind of, even though I don't like that word. You could see the truth of reality, the truth of no self, and you can experience your true self and God for the first time.